one live, and then
Yeah.
I'll explain. Okay, so yeah, I'm writing this scene, and it starts. I start basing it on something that sort of, kind of, really happened, but years ago at a comic, what was it, WonderCon in San Francisco. It was I don't know. It had to be like midnight after the convention, and I'm there with Patrick, the guy who was my artist at the time, and Kat and a few other people. And I had had two White Russians because this was back in that really bad time in my life when I was drinking some.
Right.
And the original waitress we had was this, run of the mill blonde who is a barmaid,
Right.
what you expect. But
Nothing,
then this
nothing wrong with that.
woman, I don't know, 45-year-old Chinese woman, kind of mom looking. She's very slender. Starts waiting the table, and she's got an extremely thick accent. She seems so nervous, right? And it's like
Right.
thick accent, really nervous. It's like, no, you're way too old to be nervous for first day on the job kind of thing. And so I think I asked her, "Are you first generation?" because of her accent, and she's basically no, and she explained in broken English that she was here on a employee exchange program from China, and that actually I think she'd come over from Hong Kong, but she was going to be in San Francisco for a couple months, waiting tables at that Marriott, while an American was in the one in Hong Kong. And I don't know why this poor woman was just nervous as all hell. I mean, it just really, she seemed, I don't know. So I figure
It's
I'll
like, are
be
you
nice.
gonna stab me, lady, or what?
No, she seemed really jumpy. It was just like, it's like, no, we don't bite. And I don't know, maybe it's different in China with the way they treat waitresses. Maybe waitresses aren't spoken to. I have no idea.
I don't know. I've never
But
been to China.
what? Oh, okay.
Uh,
You can answer this after I explain what
no,
happened.
no, no. I said I don't know. I've never
Okay.
been to China.
So I just, very nicely, she's 45 about. So I just thought, okay, I'll be nice, and this will help loosen her up. And I said, well, so tell me, are all the women from that part of China as pretty as you are?
Oh,
And um, I don't know. She got bright red. She said thank you, and
and then you were married.
no. And then later I came back, and she seemed still kind of nervous but flattered. And I'm like, no, I just feel that if a woman's attractive, a man should have the right to say so, whether and have nothing attached. And I just thought you needed to hear it. Yeah, that you seemed like you were down, and that was it. That was the end of the story. But the artist Patrick, every time we were in an interview, he'd fucking bring the story up and he'd elaborate on it more and more, and he'd just keep making up more shit about what happened, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
look, I just complimented, a Chinese mom. It's no big deal, dude. But I'm writing this story, and I'm like, okay, well, what if it really did happen the way Patrick told it?
There you go.
And it turns into this mercenary at a Marriott, and he accidentally ends up flirting with the waitress, who's this 45-year-old Chinese woman on an exchange program. And then he has his Han Solo meets Greedo moment where he shoots someone in the Marriott, and he leaves. And he thinks, oh great, I gotta get the hell out of here before the cops come. And the woman comes running out screaming, stop, stop. And he's like, oh shit, cops are coming. I'm gonna have to punch a woman. Right? And he gets into the cab, and I have it that she jumps on top of him and starts macking on him hard, saying, what was it? You so brave, you kill communists, you shoot in dick, make cock dead.
I was always when I was overseas because I didn't want to wake up, and be like, "Who are you, the maid?" And her to go, "This is Ralph Bloodthorn." Wait, what? I was always deathly afraid of that because I know dudes that happened to. They like complimented somebody and then woke up a few days later and were like married.
Oh shit.
Apparently, that was a big thing. Get GIs drunk and oh yeah, you're married now. Wait, I'm what? I was always worried
So
about
yeah,
that.
this bizarre story about mech driving mercenaries takes a weird twist, and he ends up banging a 45-year-old Chinese woman in a bar
Sure. I mean, why not?
after shooting a guy in the nuts.
Why not? I mean, there's weirder things that have happened.
So anyway, I have found writing this to be very, very therapeutic,
I was listening to you
including a
guys.
scene where a character is essentially Destro, but he's still in the arms dealing industry, but he found Jesus, and now he's putting all his money to children's programs and getting kids off the street and off drugs. But it's Destro.
I was listening to you guys from the one I missed because I look at my email and I'm like, oh, it's tonight, So I hurried up and went to the store and everything, but it's 150 mile round trip. Go to the store and everything, get back and I'm like, I hope I didn't miss it. And I'm sitting in there for like half an hour. And I was like, where the hell is everybody? And I look and I see it was the night before. And I was like, and then right there, YouTube goes, ding, it's been uploaded. I'm like, wow, thanks for letting me know. But I was listening to you that you were trying the whole just relaxing and writing thing, which is really good.
I thought I'd given you a link for that show. Shit.
You
You're
did.
always...
You did, but I didn't know about it.
Was this the last Monday show with Fiona?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't make it because I didn't know it was happening because I checked my email and it wasn't in there, and I checked my email the next day and it was. And I hate it when they do that.
Honestly, Raltz, you should just expect every Monday we're on unless one of us is dying. Like that's just how it rolls.
I'm fine with that.
I'm sorry if my voice kind of cracks out because I was at Hollywood Bowl on Saturday screaming my brains out. Because I went and saw Paul Oakenfold, New Order, and Pet Shop Boys.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fucking amazing. Like, it was a dream come true. I got to hit 4 things on my bucket list in one night: Hollywood Bowl, Paul Oakenfold, New Order, and Pet Shop Boys. So, yeah, it was fucking amazing.
Last time I saw Pet Shop Boys, that must have been 20 years ago. Jesus Christ.
Dude.
No, it's longer than that. It was 30 years ago. It was 30 years ago.
They were the best part of the show. I was expecting New Order to be the best part of the show, but the fucking Pet Shop Boys blew them out of the water. I was so impressed. If you guys ever get a chance, try to see Paul Oakenfold, especially New Order, because Bernard Sumner even said on stage his voice is giving out, so he doesn't think they're going to be touring for much longer.
Oh no.
But yeah, so that was my weekend. I spent it in LA. That place is still a shithole. I was very happy to Steve and I woke up at 7:00 in the morning, didn't even take showers, shoved all our shit in the car, and was on the road by 7:30. We wanted the fuck out. Like, we literally just showed up to go to the Hollywood Bowl.
I don't go anywhere near LA. I got better.
Well, you know what? It was either that or go San Francisco.
Oh no.
Nope.
So yeah, LA. It was great. I actually got to see the LA River, that lovely water sewage fuckery that I got to actually see downtown LA. I saw Capitol Records.
Okay.
Yeah, you could definitely. Okay, you guys are gonna think I'm fucking weird. I swear to God, you can feel the evil oozing out of that city. I'm not fucking joking. Like, I just felt like. I was like, is there going to be an earthquake? Are we going to have like an Escape from LA moment where like everything sinks into the fucking ocean?
You're not the first person I've said that LA's gone from having, a kind of decent atmosphere to evil.
No, it's fucking evil. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I swear to God, like something had, well, no, actually there's so much like crazy fuckery going on there. Just it oozes evil, man. You can just fucking feel it.
There's something hideously wrong going on behind the scenes there. It went from being, Tinseltown was always sketchy.
Shit, yeah.
But no, the whole city now is essentially it's a banana republic.
I was gonna say it's Sodom.
Yeah.
Literally.
I guess it would be a cross between Sodom and Gomorrah and I don't know, Colombia.
I'm telling you what, dude. I'm telling you that city started turning truly evil when Jack Parsons blew up. I have a theory that he fucked around with too much blood magic and sex magic, and hell got to him and blew him up, and like opened a portal.
No idea.
You don't know who Jack Parsons is?
No.
This is an
Oh my
interesting
God,
story.
Ralts, you're killing me.
You
You'll
gotta
love
remember, I was not in the U.S. for a long time.
Oh, this dude was killed in like the 50s. He was one of the modern fathers of rocketry.
Oh, wow.
Jack
No, I've never
Parsons,
heard of him.
The god, his JPL is Jack Parsons Lab or Jet Propulsion Laboratory. And the crazy thing is he was a rocketry genius. He really was. He part of the Apollo program. He had a very big hand in all of this stuff. But he and some of the other weirdos he hung out with, like L. Ron Hubbard and
Aleister Crowley.
Oh, did Crowley hang out with him?
Oh, Crowley was the student to Crowley being the master. In fact, it was Aleister Crowley that told him that L. Ron Hubbard was a fucking huckster and to kick him out. And he was like, no, he's my friend. And L. Ron stole all his money and his girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
No,
No,
you
no,
should.
you
You
should laugh.
should.
That's just too funny.
That'll learn you.
No, he was
Oh,
Aleister
he's my
Crowley's main
friend.
disciple.
No, he's my friend. Takes off with his money and his girl. What an ass.
And anyway, yeah, him and his friends were convinced that they would be able to summon up a I don't know, didn't they want like a succubus or something?
Yeah, they were all about the sex magic.
And they thought they could summon themselves up a succubus or some sort of sexy demon that'd fuck them.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was the whole.
Why didn't they just get $20 and go down and get some fucking 50s? Well, they could have gotten some Korean chick.
Because they wanted the demon pussy.
Yeah, but that smells like brimstone and tastes like fucking
Brimstone.
Yeah.
It smells like brimstone.
I mean, it tastes and smells like brimstone. And, if you want that, just pour fucking wild turkey over a chick's ass and start licking, and there you go. Actually, no, that'll taste better because I like wild turkey. I mean, I'll drink wild turkey.
Oh, shit, dude. We're on a roll already. It's only 10 minutes in.
Okay, wait. So what's your take on wild turkey?
I like wild turkey. I used to drink it straight out of a bottle. Yeah, there's pictures of me standing there with like half a bottle of wild turkey in one hand and a gun in the other. Yeah, really doing that American thing, But I mean, shit, I love wild turkey. I mean, probably because my dad used to put it in the Kool-Aid when we went camping.
Oh, Jesus.
Because it keeps the kids quiet. You have a couple glasses of Kool-Aid, of camping Kool-Aid, and then you pass out face down in your sleeping bag.
God, we all grew up in a different time, didn't we? You hear about the parents giving their kids alcohol in the Kool-Aid or Benadryl after school, so they just chill the fuck out.
Wasn't the Benadryl? It was the sitting around the fire with all the guns and everybody's drinking wild turkey. It's like, yeah, that's safe.
Oh my God.
Yeah, most people I know don't like wild turkey though. Those people just don't know what's good in life.
Actually, there's a line in remember I said this mental vomit. The actual scene that I set in the Marriott, the character is drinking Jack Daniels and he's saying, yeah, Jack Daniels was nothing like wild turkey. Wild turkey wanted to claw your eyes out. Jack was a gentleman when it came to your brain and your stomach.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It just didn't bother me because I didn't care. See, everybody else is like, how can you drink that? It's like thick flavored battery acid. And I was like, because it tastes good and I don't care if I live or die. What's the point?
I've never had wild turkey.
It's an experience.
Maybe I should do that.
I'll tell you about my experience with wild turkey. Now, like I said, I only drank heavily for about a year in my life, and it was a very rough year. You said it was flavored battery acid, is what you called it?
Yeah.
That's
Wood-smoke
pretty good.
flavored battery acid.
What flavored?
Wood smoke.
Oh, wood smoke.
Smoked flavor. Jesus, dude, that pops a mental image on your palate. I can't even figure that out.
Well, yeah, beside that one bad year where my grandfather died, my publisher screwed me, and I was drinking it quite a bit. For most of my life, I was extremely straight edge, still am for the most part. But when I was younger, totally straight edge, never drank, never did drugs, just no appeal. But my friend was getting married, and we're out on the bar crawl, and he's like, dude, you got to do it for me. Come on. It's the 100 proof kind. You got to do it for me.
Ew, the 100 proof stuff. That's like the water stuff. I like the 120 or 140. Or I like the heavy duty one.
The 120?
Yeah. Yeah, they used to have 120 in the shopette. Well, not the shopette, the class 6, and I'd buy a bottle of that and sit there and drink it because why not?
But so anyway, I mean, we first did initial shots, and like the initial shots were, I think, Southern Comfort. Yeah, okay, that good. That's pretty smooth. Then I try the wild turkey, okay, and keep in mind I'm a thorough lightweight, still am. And I get about half of it down. My eyes roll back. I shove it back down on the bar, and I stumble backwards. And I'm holding myself, and they're all, "Oh, you're making it up. No, you're not really. No." I'm like, no, really, I am.
And up it all came.
And so I finish it, and I hit the floor.
Oof.
I mean, I did. It's like, boom. I wasn't out. It's just my legs decided they weren't going to work for a minute.
I got a little bottle of 101 right here. It's a Wild Turkey Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
I thought you didn't drink anymore.
I don't.
Oh.
I don't drink, but I've still got a little bottle sitting there because, why not?
Oh, it's one of those things. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's one of those weird things where you're like, I don't drink anymore. I mean, I haven't had a drink in about 15 years. Sometimes I wouldn't mind one, but the bottle was a gift, and I don't want to get rid of a gift.
I thought it was like one of those things where there are certain people who, stopped drinking, went through the program, or just stopped drinking, and it's kind of like the proof is like the bottle's always right there in front of you. It's like has no effect on me.
No. That sounds like a good way for me to end up face down.
Oh, okay. I've met people like that.
This was a gift. Yeah, this is proof that I don't drink anymore. Where's the bottle? I don't know. Let's go shoot at cars. But yeah, I was listening to that show, and which means I caught that little bit about the midget stripper there, champ.
Okay, you did catch that. Good.
Yes, I did. I got that. Busted up laughing. I was like, okay, that's good.
Okay, long as you approve.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm not one of those people that pretend I'm. You get those people who are a jackass and pretend they aren't, and pretend they're all, I'm well behaved. I wouldn't do anything wrong. No, I totally didn't set that cop car on fire. That was somebody that looked like me. No, I'm not one of those people. I'm one of those people who are like, I'm a terrible person, and I might have done it. Maybe, probably. We should start running now. That's me. We should start running now. I know a lot of people get offended when, the person that they put out to everybody, that they let the world see, and then somebody, is like, hey, I don't mind that you're like that, and then they get all mad because people accept them. It's like, well, which do you want?
Really?
You want people to accept you, or I've seen people get mad over, hey, I wanted to make sure that, you were in one of my books like you asked to be. And then they're like, oh, neat. And then they find out what they're in there, and they're like, well, I don't like the way you portrayed me. It's like, well, what the hell do you want? This is you. No, it's not me.
Well, you can put me into any of your books. I don't care. And, for a very brief while, because of my career, when I really started getting a name in comics, I really did try to give kind of you have a public image and just keep the real self behind the mask. You don't want to come across as too strange. And so, I always thought, okay, the persona I'm portraying, the weird act it's just an act. And then one night, we were interviewed on, what show? Was it Comics Vine?
Yeah, it was Comics Vine.
On their show, we were interviewed, and I thought that I had come across, I was being very serious and trying to come across as normal and just give a good interview. And I watched it afterwards, like, no, I'm fucking weird. This is me trying to act normal. Oh my God.
I had people that were surprised that I was exactly who I put forward at the time. At the time I drank. I did all kinds of stuff I probably shouldn't have done. But I had people get all surprised that I was exactly who I portrayed myself as. Let's go drinking. No, it's 10 in the morning. Let's go drinking.
Look, Ralts can't be faked.
No.
And everybody was surprised that I was exactly what I said I was. And they're all like, well, we didn't think you'd actually, when that guy made that comment to your wife, we didn't think you were going to come across the table and grab him and say, we can go outside in the alley, or you could shut your fucking mouth. And it's like, well, he said shit to my wife. He talked mad smack at my wife, and I'm not going to sit there. Well, you can't do that. You know me. I've said I'm like that.
No,
well,
somebody says shit about your wife, you hit him right there.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, it's amazing how many people are like, oh, you shouldn't have done anything. He didn't mean it. The fuck he didn't. He said it. I was mad too. And they're like, well, you can't be like, we didn't expect you to be like that. I'm like, how the hell did you not expect me to be like that when this is exactly how I portrayed myself as? Oh, well, it was surprising. So you're functionally retarded. Great. It's like that meme. Oh no,
is what it is.
Yeah, it's like that meme. Oh no, it's retarded. About the dog.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. Everybody's got their little hang-ups. I was very, very protective of my wife, especially when she was pregnant. Really protective of her then, which surprised people. It's like, how are you surprised I'm protective of my pregnant wife? Well, it just seems like kind of a shocker. You're a special kind of stupid, ain't you?
Read this comment.
Me? Okay. This is from Undead Ramen. I was so happy the Ralts IRL was exactly the same guy I met in game blowing up bank tellers.
Yeah. Yeah, she knows me.
Was this in City of Heroes?
No, that was in Payday. Payday 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I've known her for over 10 years now. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Phone, camera, everything. Yeah, I keep telling her one of these times you're gonna have to come up here and visit me. That was when I was on the West Coast. Now I'm like, now I'm closer. I can drive there and be there in 5 days. And she knows me well enough to know that 5 days drive is not far from me. I'll drive that. That's not a big deal. Everybody else is like, oh, but that's so far. No, it's not. It's 5 days drive. You sleep in the fucking car.
My dad was the same. It was like 4 days drive. Yeah, I'll be there. All
yeah.
Good.
And people are always startled by the fact I'm like, it's not that far. It's 5 days. So what? But no, it's not that far. But where are you gonna? But you have to do hotels. It's like, well, la-di-da. Listen to you with your hotel.
Like, actually, no, you don't. You got enough room in the back seat. You're fine.
Sleep at the rest stop. But people, can't do that no more. Some weirdo will kill you. Which, yeah, we're there now.
You know
but
what?
What you were talking about. Go ahead.
Let's get Buddy Lord on with this. Are you okay with that? We haven't talked to Buddy in like forever.
All good.
Buddy?
Good
I don't think I've ever talked to him.
Okay.
Oh, Buddy's cool.
Someone I've really been owing an email to, but I've been hiding from the internet. No, seriously.
No, your pause. I've been hiding. and then nothing.
No. See, I have two machines. I've explained this. I write on one machine that has no connection to the web or anything. It's not connected. And then I have my main machine that's tied in and has all the media stuff.
Your mean machine.
And I've taken to not using it as much as possible because I don't know, I just really don't want to deal with social media and YouTube and
No, I'm the same way.
the internet used to be fun, God damn it.
I'll be
It did.
honest, I avoid using my laptop, not because I don't enjoy using it, but because then I have a full keyboard and I have no excuse to not go onto social media and things like that. It's like, but if I'm through my little phone, I can't type big things, so therefore, why should I go out and be social online? Like
The internet was fun. The internet was fun at one point, and then all the normies got online with their
Okay, hold-
smartphones and destroyed it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Buddy, I've just sent you a link if you want to join on in.
When there was, you had to have the basic brains. God gave a fucking head wounded cow to get online. Then it was a little different, but now people just, they get a cell phone and they're like, I'm online, I are typing. It's like, get out.
I blame those those little plastic clay pigeons that AOL would send everybody.
Oh God.
I remember getting shit-faced with my friends when I was living in the dorms at SDSU, and we would just hop on chat rooms and fucking be drunk and talking to people.
That
This
was
was like,
doing the best.
97.
Yep, did that. Totally did that. I wasn't drunk though because I was in junior high, but
Okay, yeah.
Totally did
I was
that.
a freshman in college.
I'd go on as a junior high student pretending I was in college.
Oh, we would pretend to be all sorts of things.
College girls in your area really actually don't want to meet you.
No, I was meeting Midwestern boys. So
Naughty.
yes. Oh yeah, I was a rebel. On Prodigy.
We would seriously ask the most disgusting sex questions to people on chats because we were drunk. And it wasn't just all girls. It was guys and girls crowding the one person's dorm room, the one person that had AOL dial-up and had a computer. Because not everybody had a computer in their dorm room yet. Computers were still not really that big of a thing.
No,
And
they
you couldn't
weren't.
do that shit in the library.
Okay, got one for you.
I did.
I got one for you. Old days of AOL, chat rooms and discussion forums. And there was one called Star Wars versus Star Trek. And the board could never, or the discussion group could never decide whether it was supposed to be, well, which franchise is better, and comparing the franchises, or if they were discussing a literal war between the two settings.
It's kind of both, isn't it?
And it kept going back and forth between stuff like, yeah, well, I bet Chewbacca could kick Worf's ass, and
wow.
The Death Star could blow up the Enterprise. It was just this back and forth, but then they'd also start talking about what series was better. And at some point, I just decided, okay, I'll create 2 accounts and start arguing with myself to get the arguments going. And so I had one character who was a Trekkie and one character who's into Star Wars, right? And they're going, I start commenting back and forth and kind of making asinine comments. And then at one point, I finally had this Star Wars or Star Trek fan character say, yeah, let's talk about the real deal here. Let's forget about whose ship can blow up whose. I bet George Lucas would get his ass kicked. That hippie wouldn't stand a chance from a military man like Gene Roddenberry. Gene Roddenberry was in the war. And Lucas was a hippie.
Oh, Jesus. That's like throwing a fucking pipe bomb into the discussion.
Hey, buddy.
Yo.
Hey.
Hello.
It is the Lord of Buddy.
Dun
How's
dun
it
dun. It's all
Pleasure
good,
to
man.
meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hello. I've met Raltz. I think he was the Coke guy. He drank
The
lots
Coke?
of Coke. Yeah. Or, no, that was another dude. And there was Janelle. No, I've never met you. Okay.
No, I'm not really.
No,
I don't
Ross is
really
the
like
guy
Coke.
with the midgets.
Yeah, I'm the one that likes the midget girls.
But
Hey, well, things look really big in their hands, you know.
Yes.
So
That's just a good side effect.
come to think of it, Ralts is like what, over 6 feet tall?
Yeah.
With a midget.
My favorite Ralt story is the midget vomit cannon. That will
Yeah.
always be my favorite story.
Oh,
Hey,
they can hold an amazing amount of vomit.
It's just the
Opposites
way you were
attract, right?
holding her, dude.
Just holding her by her back of her shirt and the back of her pants, and just because I'm not getting that on me.
So you held a midget like a vomit cannon, basically.
Yeah, she was really hammered.
It's like, you, this way. Hey, you. You want some?
At least she wasn't standing on my belt. She used to stand on my belt and put her arms around me.
I've got a midget and I know how to use it.
I'm just picturing the gun from Aliens, but it's a midget on
Oh,
that.
the smart gun.
Yeah,
Oh,
on that
Jesus. Somebody draw that.
Yeah,
She would have thought
please.
that was hilarious.
So
I was imagining like the what is it, the Musk flamethrower, but vomit, you know?
Oh, Jesus.
So, buddy, since it's been a while, introduce yourself to Ralts and everyone else. And I do want an update on your book.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm Buddy Lord, a raptor in no. Yeah, I write Sins of the Fae. It's magical realism. I just call that like magic and science and magic.
Pages I've been seeing on Instagram are awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just we actually just wrapped up today
Oh wow.
the
Oh,
final
really?
principal art page. We are
That's
now
great.
into
Yay!
final editing, and he really wants to letter it because he says that he's like, I'm the only one that can bring this to life. And I'm like, well, I was made a deal by my publisher that he wants to pay for the lettering as long as he controls it. I'm like, I'm taking that because I've paid for everything else.
You got a publisher for this?
Yeah, I'm a producer. As a guy that helped me out with a lot of the money for the last push, because when we were going through it, and I was like, okay, I don't know if I went through this with you guys, but I like one of the major reasons why I wanted to do this is because of I realized it was a goodbye for me. It's like a goodbye letter. I had a fiance. Well, we didn't make it to fiance, but I just think of her as that, as 18 years ago, and she died. She died in a car wreck, and her that week her father okay, so we had been together for a few years. She told me like, hey, I'm going to go visit my dad for a week. I'm like, okay. I was in the midst of finishing up my PsyD, so I didn't think anything of it. I'm just like, yeah, you're going to be busy, I'm going to be busy, I'm really going to miss you. Back then it wasn't as easy to keep in touch, but we had AOL and stuff like that, so I'm like, write me on AIM or something. And she went up there, and 3 days later her dad called me, and I'd never heard from him because he hates me. He thought I was a bad influence on her, and told me that she was in the hospital, she was, dead, and that she was pregnant. And I said, "Can I come up there to the funeral?" And he said, "No, I don't want you here." So I kind of lost it and quit school. I just quit 6 years. Couldn't think, didn't care. I had worked for my dad for 3 years in general aviation. I took that time and applied it to taking a test within 3 days. Within 2 weeks, I was out of the country on contract.
I think you've told this story before. Isn't your character Nikki based on her?
Yeah, and so
Okay.
she's not like she's my Nikki is nothing like my Nikki.
No, I get what you mean.
But she bared the name, and I was gonna quit. I really was. I was just gonna throw out whatever I had last year, and the anniversary for it is actually in August. And I went to last year in August. I went to the vigil that I've been doing for a long time. because I'm silly. And I was like, no, I want to put a book on this grave next year, and I want it to be the best thing I've ever made. So I came back, and I went hard. And when I started to go hard with it, this guy, Aaron Neff, he owns Global Frequency Studios. He was like, I like what you've got. Tell me what you would need to finish it. And I'm like, a lot, like, 10, 12,000. And he's like, okay, let's do it. He's like, I'm gonna, so we signed a contract, an MOU. He's helping me distribute it. He wants to put it in like stores. He thinks it'll go to stores. He was really mad though that we couldn't get it out during Sandman, and I tried, but we're about 8 weeks late because X didn't produce anything for 8 weeks.
Mm.
So, but he's finished now. We've got it. We've got the art, and it does look gorgeous. I mean, it is. I wouldn't say this is like like a lot of people have like it's not a sequential book really. It's more of like a light novel or a fairy tale with really pretty pictures.
So it's a graphic novel, right? Because
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this since it first came out because the art really caught me. And so I've been really excited for Sins of the Fae.
Yeah, it is. I think it's a fantastic thing. I think the story is going to catch people even more. It's going to make you cry, most likely. There's really triumphant, really sad parts. And it is about, I think what the greatest stories are about, the triumph of the human spirit.
Okay, before we go any further, how do we find you on Instagram?
I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the profile. I can't find it.
I don't even know. I put out something.
I don't know.
Is it under Xevius's profile, or is it under Sins of the Fae?
It's under Buddy Lord, the Buddy
It's
Lord.
under Buddy Lord. It's Buddy Lord.
Yeah, I've been putting out. Yeah, it looks like some of the like you see this one. There's one up here with Remington. It's just a really cool story. Like basically, to give like the gist of it, if anybody that hasn't heard it, you have this character Nikki who starts as a teenage girl, and she's failed this test with her grandmother, and she's really sad. So her best friend does what a best friend does. She takes her out with cheap whiskey and says,
There
"Let's
you
get
go.
drunk and make dreams." And so they do, and then they see this fireball, in the sky, and she's like, "You should summon that. That's one of them Fae, right?" That's what Granny says, and she's like, "What?" And so she does. She summons the Fae. It turns out to be a highborn, and she makes a wish because this Fae is compelled by something called the knowing. And she says, I want my wish. And he's like, "What do you want?" And she said, "I want to be a mom." She's like, "I don't want my powers. I don't want to be a guardian. I don't want to be a maiden. I don't want to learn magic. I don't want to cast anything. I want to be a mother." And she does that because her mother was a guardian just like her, and her mother died, like alone. And she never came back, and she was made the next guardian. So she's like, "I just want to be a mom. I don't want to deal with any of this." And so in essence, she wishes away the very birthright and power she was given. And when the Fae tells her there's a price for that, she says, "Price be damned." So that's actually the name. That's the title for the main chapter, is "Price be damned," because she has to find out what that price is and pay it.
Buddy, I see a printed book here. And so how do I give you money to get this?
This is the preview that we created for that he wanted to create, mostly just to show off his art, because it doesn't really, like, it's too small to show my story. But we now are going into the book. It is 96 pages, 92 story.
Damn.
Yeah, it is. It's a thick boy, whatever, as they say. It is it's a very very like emotional, very interesting. I mean, there's a lot of like world building and stuff, but I'm a good enough storyteller that I can, no offense to some people who are like, "It's all set up, nothing happens." Okay, well, it's all set up, lots of shit happens.
The artwork and the setup really reminds me of Neil Gaiman's Black Orchid.
There's a reason for that.
Oh, okay.
When I first started the comic book, it was more sequential, and it was done by an artist named Joe Sanchez. And we got like 38 out of 45 pages done, and he could no longer illustrate my imagination. So I was like, this is going to be a problem because it only gets bigger from here. And I had already changed a lot of things so that it didn't, it wasn't hard to draw, you know? This is a different book, Sway. That's a whole other story. But
Oh, this is Sway?
yeah, this one is Sway. I mean, it's really good too, but it's a different book. It's same artist. But anyway, so when we did that, I tried to get an artist that was like Joe to keep drawing, couldn't find one. I'm like, this sucks. I got to start over now. So I my colorist at the time was X, and I said, X, I'm like, you say you can't do this because you think that only people who are the best at sequential should do sequential. So you may not be able to do this, but you could do this. And I showed him Black Orchid. And he said, yeah, I could do that. I said, okay, then do that. So he studied it for 3 days and he came back with a page. And I'm like, yep, let's go.
Holy shit, damn. Yeah, Black Orchid's amazing. If you guys haven't read it yet, people in the chat, I highly recommend it. I actually got the graphic novel like 3 months ago. Just because I saw the art online and I was blown away. I'm like, and Neil Gaiman is sometimes hit or miss with me. I think maybe it's more just because personality. That I'm like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Well, I have a personal grudge, but we won't go
Well,
there
yeah,
tonight.
your story about Neil Gaiman, I was like, ugh, afterwards.
I haven't met the guy, but I don't know, like, what happened with the whole like Cinnamon Hadley and then just completely replacing her without any kind of like ceremony over that really bothered me. And I think it bothered a lot of people, you know, because she was the face of death. She gave her a smile, she
Yeah.
gave her a look. She was death. And then and it's obvious that even he thought that was more death because then the perfect like voice analog for her, you know, Dennings in the Audible, the audio. But then we have this girl that's like just a flat voice, not really exciting. I mean, she's a pretty black girl. Don't get me wrong; she's gorgeous, but I felt nothing. I was like, I don't.
She's not
this isn't-
deaf.
Yeah, I was like, this isn't death. This is just some black girl.
Is this for the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way for me to watch this show. They did the typical Hollywood bullshit, so I just didn't even watch it, even though people keep telling me to watch it.
Well, I mean, people keep saying things like, you know, what does it matter if, you know, like a lot of people are black or this or that? And I'm like, well, one, it's supposed to be really exotic and interesting that the person he goes and rescues is a Nubian princess. What does it matter if everybody's black?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Why didn't we just change that to like a Celt or someone Finnish?
Yeah, turn it into a redhead, the actual freaking rarest thing on Earth now.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
my people will be extinct in a few hundred years because I'm a redhead.
The Endless aren't supposed to have any ethnicity. They're literally black and white because they're the Endless. And
that was another thing
themselves.
that bothered me. I hated that. That was another thing that bothered me is that like when you look at them, like they're supposed to be like they would show these pictures and you're supposed to be seeing that he is alien and the only reason these creatures are coming to him is because he has food. You know, like when he's on the bench and he's feeding the birds. Like he's like an alien. He's a weird black-eyed alien looking dude. He's weird. He's not supposed to be this gorgeous English guy.
Desire looked like a Patrick Nagel drawing. I mean, I swear that's what Desire was designed after, was the Patrick Nagel boys and girls, that androgyny that he did in the 80s.
Well, I mean, Desire was always like boy or girl kind of, you know, androgynous, and that was fine. But again, like if everybody's supposed to be that way and everybody's queer, what's it matter?
If everybody's super, then nobody.
Exactly.
When he said that with malevolence. He said that because he was destroying the supers. Now everybody thinks that, oh, that means everybody can be super. Is how these idiots took it. And no, that's not how it works.
Well, they think superpowers are politics. Let's can you go like scroll up or move across or whatever? I was gonna, since she was pointing out the Black Orchid, there's actually an homage. We created an homage to the Falling page
which one?
of Black Orchid. It is the one that there's like an eel at the top and she's like on the right side, she's kind of falling in 3 different versions of herself.
Is it the one with the bubbles in the hand?
No. Bubbles in the hand. Okay, we'll go back to the basically it's up further.
You know what?
Okay.
Fuck it. I will say why I have a problem with gaming.
Yeah, I
No,
love
rip
it
it
when
up.
Ishii goes off about Neil Gaiman, man.
Let's talk about fucking Neil fucking Gaiman, okay? Oh, I'm so
That one,
supportive
right?
of all these
Oh,
creators.
sorry.
I'm always so proud to see people enter the
Yep.
industry
There you
and
go.
realize their dreams, right? One, he's a Scientologist.
Oop.
Okay.
Ew, I didn't know
Pull the eject
that.
lever. Ooh, get it, get away, get away, get away, get away.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow,
God.
instant
Is it really?
reaction there.
Suddenly,
on that.
suddenly everything
Ooh.
makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Two,
Oof.
Titanium Rain, the audio drama, was up for an Audie, which is like the Oscars of audio dramas or audiobooks. And we had been informed by the Audies, well, it's you or the Church of Scientology, because they had their book out at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, look, you guys you got it. It's in the bag. You guys come out to New York because you've got, what was it, best new talent or whatever the hell it was, or best new audio. Oh no, it was best audio of the year.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
And at the 11th hour, and I do mean like the week we were booking tickets, Neil Gaiman swoops in, enters his, and he gets it.
Mhm.
And like, as if Neil Gaiman needed another fucking trophy to make his name. I mean, that would have changed my career. That would have changed everything for Kat and I. It would have been massive. But no, that's just another shiny piece of plastic for Neil.
Mhm.
Another plaque to shove up his ass.
No.
Fucking
You see,
douche
I know
nozzle.
people like this. I can tell you why he did it. He did
Yeah.
it for exactly why he did it. You see, all these guys talk about it, about, oh, we support the up and coming, we support the up and coming. I have watched these people at award shows and listened to the backstage talking for award shows, and for all of their public facing of, oh yeah, this is for new authors. Yeah, we prioritize new authors over people with plenty of awards. In reality, it's all about making sure that nobody else comes up first. I mean,
Is that why
long.
is that why Stephen King does it, you think?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I heard about that in the comic book industry because I'm not saying I'm the best artist, but whenever I'd be doing my art and my friends that I knew that had already started in the industry, they were always telling me my art was shit until I went to the Art Institute and I had one of my instructors tell me, oh no, that's their way of making sure that you don't go in because they keep telling you your art is shit when it's not. So I had friends telling me my art was shit. People I thought who were my friends who were in the industry when I was trying to break in, and I gave up. And then I found out later on, oh no, you still need to work on your art, but your art wasn't shit. You were a threat.
Hmm.
But now I'm glad I didn't get into the industry because there's no fucking way I would have been able to handle what the industry is. But oh yeah, and in the late 2000s, I was going to art school. I was going to animation school. I was going to be a 2D animator. And I kept being told by my peers who were already working for like Marvel, DC, had stuff at Antarctic that my art just wasn't good enough. And then I found out, no, they were fucking threatened by me. So fuck those people.
Well,
Well,
Janelle,
I'm
don't
sorry.
feel
I'm
too
shit
bad.
faced, so I'm mad.
No, don't feel too bad. They're at Antarctic.
I don't know
That
how
actually
many
says
times.
it all. That says it all. If they're at Antarctic.
I got two comments. One, I just looked Stephen King up. He's from Portland, Maine. Now it all makes sense.
Oh, so he's from East Coast Portland.
Yes, it all makes sense now. I've been there.
Yeah,
Well,
we have
you
been
know,
there.
You get a lot. You get a lot of. A lot of people don't realize that if you actually look at his, books, it becomes really obvious really fast that it's Stephen King presents The Haunted Toaster.
Yes.
You know, it's the
Yes.
same book over and over. As a matter of fact, if you want to have something fun, there's two authors that write horror. One, every single book he has a dog in it. Okay, someday he'll put out a book that doesn't have a golden retriever on it, and the Earth will crash into the sun. And the other thing is Stephen King's characters 90% of them are authors or wannabe authors.
So wait, every one
Will
of
you
them
guys
has a golden
excuse me for
retriever?
just a minute? I'll be
I'm
right
lost
back.
there. I
Okay.
think I
Okay,
missed something.
okay.
No. There's two authors that are very predictable. One of them always has golden retrievers in his books, and I'm trying to remember his name, and I can't think of it. God damn it, he wrote Dean Koontz.
Okay.
Dean Koontz always has a dog on the cover and always has a dog in his book, and Stephen King's main character is always a writer.
Yeah,
Think
except
about it.
for-
The Dark
yeah,
Half.
Oh no, I was confused by the golden retriever and crashing into the sun. It's like, wait, what book was
No,
that?
someday Dean Koontz will put out a book without a golden retriever and the earth will crash. into the sun.
Okay. I was like, I don't recall Kuntz ever writing a book about a golden retriever
someday Dean
crash-
Koontz will write his own
Can I
book.
try
crashing into the sun. But that sounds pretty good.
Can I try and show you guys something?
Sure.
Okay, I don't know. I had to get it off the wall.
Wait, your boyfriend is going to punch me in the face for showing this to me, are you? Is he?
No.
Okay.
But here, I've got the
Just
cam
checking.
going. I don't know if you'll be able to see it.
Oop, cam.
Here we
Wait.
go. Close.
No, not that
one. Okay.
Okay, can you see my drawing? I was told this was shit. My
That's
mom framed it.
beautiful.
Give me a second. Let me
No,
see if I
that's
can.
beautiful.
That's a Chinese phoenix and a Chinese dragon, a celestial.
I'm
I already
trying to
like
get
it.
a way to isolate you, and so we can see that.
There,
see,
there, is that better?
That's
My stick
gorgeous. Do you have
figures
any
look like-
more?
I have it. My mom framed all my stuff. I'd have to go pull it off all the walls. But yeah, I was told this was shit. Is that shit? Tell me the truth.
No.
No.
Okay,
No.
yeah, that's my art, guys.
No.
Here,
that is not
Okay,
shit.
well,
Here, I'm gonna. Sorry, I'm in mom mode, so no makeup, glasses. Hi.
Hi.
I'll be right back. I'll go get my Joker. Hold on.
okay. So, yeah, Dean Koontz always has a golden retriever, apparently.
Yes.
That's interesting. You know what I found about my stories? I think I might have broke this rule once, but almost everything I've ever written has a scene of vomit. There's somebody vomits in every one of my stories.
No. Almost everything that you've written includes vomit
A
or
reference to vomit.
or one of the things that you cannot show on television,
Oh,
like needles,
oh.
drug use, stuff like that.
But literally every story I've ever written, I think references either has a vomit scene or mentions vomit. And I really, really can't tell you why.
Huh.
Because you
Sometimes
find it funny.
Sometimes
Well, yeah,
end up
it's funny.
habits.
Okay,
I mean, I've got habits.
Okay.
I'm back. Let's see if you guys can see this.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, my mom framed all my artwork. It's one of my first ones that I did of the Joker, and she loved it so much. But yeah, all my friends told me my art was shit. Or
Well,
my
your
friends.
friends are assholes.
Well,
Yeah.
what, your friends told you that was shit?
Yeah, my friends who were in the industry told me my art was like not good enough. So my mom kept framing all my stuff. I don't want to go through the house and pull down on my pictures right now. I've already pulled down two.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know what it's like anymore, but back in the aughts at least, going to Comic-Con and trying to get your work looked at was essentially running the gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
It was essentially going booth to booth, getting people, getting beat on by editors. And partially it was the thing of they don't want other artists don't want competition. That is true. Editors are just, a lot of them are mean, and they just enjoy sitting there crushing dreams.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I got to this point where I realized a lot of these editors just love the idea of crushing dreams.
Yeah.
That sucks. Because
Yeah.
I
That's
literally stopped.
Look at
Dude,
that
that's
image.
when I stopped doing art like that, and I just moved on to my Bob Ross paintings, because I really thought like I was just a shitty artist. So that's all I've been told, that I wasn't drawing correctly. I needed to go back and work on this, work on that. My instructors at the Art Institute said my art was great, but then I'd go up to people in the industry, they're like, no, this is shit. So I gave up.
By the way, buddy, these are all beautiful. These are amazing.
No, Janelle, I mean, I can see where you were rough, but no, you had talent. You have talent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
I mean, I think it's just a matter like there's always going to be a matter of like you're saying, like polish that you need for any talent. You know what I mean? But you can tell that you've got the chops, you've got the bones. You just got to put the connective tissue together.
I think you probably would have stuck with it if, you had the Art Institute, which is good. I'm glad that you had them. Honestly, if you'd gone where I had gone, because my school was great. They're like, no, we can take somebody who can barely hold a crayon and teach them how to paint like the masters. That was their mission statement, and damned if they didn't follow through with every single person that came through there if that person like put in an ounce of effort into it.
Well, I would have had to drop
They're
out
actually on
anyway
Instagram.
because I got pregnant while I was at the Art Institute, and it was like
Oh.
buy
Well,
diapers
a lot
or go
of
to
people get
school.
pregnant at the Art Institute.
Making your
Yeah, I
own
got
trip
pregnant
right
at
now.
the Art Institute. No, my second year, I took pregnancy tests. I was like, oh shit, this changes everything. So I dropped out. Worth it though, because I got Chris out of it, and you know me, I will always take an opportunity to brag about my kid.
As you should.
Well, he is
Well,
braggable.
thank you. Thank you. Oh my God, every time you guys speak so proudly about him, I'm like, yay.
I did that.
Yeah, that's exactly. I did that. Well, I should say I did 50% of that. The other 50% is Steve-O, but
There you go.
so
That was-
yeah, okay.
My
I
mind
feel
went to the jackass guy for some
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, well, what's Steve-O have to do with your art? I mean,
It's like, okay.
I
I
was
call
like,
him
I'm not saying nothing.
I call him Steve-O because it drove him batshit because he said it reminded him of Steve-O from Jackass, so it stuck. He can't stand it when other people do it, but I'm like, Steve-O. So yeah, that Steve-O, and he also hates being called Stevie because when he was a kid, people would call him Stevie Wonder.
Oh God.
Oh,
So he just wants to be called Steve.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is probably my favorite scene in
so-
the book.
is this your interpretation of the mural at the airport and what is it?
in Colorado,
in Colorado.
in Denver.
Wow.
This is actually our interpretation of a Conan the Adventurer scene.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I loved that series when I was a kid, and there was this one scene that I've remembered, forever, and it was Conan the Adventurer, like at the very end, I think it's episode 26 or something, where he's fighting Set, and he's beat. He's on the ground and he's beat, and Set is about to eat him, to kill him. And Needle, the little baby phoenix that has been following him the whole time, is like, I'm not going to let you do it. So he stands in front of him, and he says, you may not hurt him, not now, not ever. And he turns into this like big phoenix and protects him for just a minute or just a second, enough to give him the strength to get up. And then he's able to fight him, they win. And I'm like, I love that scene. So this is our interpretation of it. This is when Remington, who is not Remington, this is Khaled Bold, comes back with her from like a crumpled singularity of a world. Basically think of like a world was sucked through a black hole and, the singularity on the other side. That's what we see. And, did I lose it? Okay.
What?
We're still here.
Okay. And
Oh,
she
I'm
finds
sorry.
this dragon over there, and they come to this other
Here's your
world.
image.
Oh, it's no big deal. And I was like, oh, if you're moving on, that's fine. But the dragon says, comes back, and this dragon failed his version of her, and she died. And he punished himself by like basically fighting for 1,000 years, and he broke his wing, and he was just waiting to die. And then she found him, and she carried him back to the sky. And he said, you brought me to the sky, I'll carry you home. And so he carried her home, and then she's attacked by these guys. And she's like, okay, I'm the maiden now. I'm never going to be safe again. I'm always going to be in danger. If this is my life, so be it. I'll believe something is going to save me. So he comes to her and he says, I can't fail again. He says, I got to be stronger than a lightning dragon. I must become lightning. And so he becomes this. And he's able to save her for just a second. And then, she finally realizes and accepts her birthright, and she takes the rest of the guys on.
Well, Do you see what Trenton's saying?
Okay,
I'm almost
sorry.
willing to leave the stream, so looking at this doesn't spoil the book when it shows up. It looks glorious, man.
I guess I should stop.
That is actually a good segue because our buddy James, JC, has also been a busy boy.
Nice.
Mr. JC is working more on his Santa Apocalypse.
Mhm.
Fucking love this story. Oh my god, that
And
bitch
what
has
am I
the best
looking at?
tits, but she's so evil.
I
So-
love it.
yeah,
Okay.
I love this style. I love his artwork.
I love how the character calls everything cunt. It just I love it.
Why is she even wearing clothes if she's not worried about her top out?
Hey guys, I'll be right back. I gotta run to the bathroom.
Is this
Don't
like
do
a
it.
two-headed Grundy?
Actually, I don't know why he's got two heads at this
I think it's
point.
supposed to be he's whipping his head around fast.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I see the lines. All right. Sorry.
But the only problem with going through James's page here is the sheer amount of hotness that
All the titties.
might get us pulled.
Right?
But I'll leave this on the
Holy
screen for now
crap.
because that is one hell of a cover. He is quite the talented man. So let's go on. Wait,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
got quiet.
We're
Sorry.
all taking a piss.
Is this
Well, somebody walked away. Somebody was quiet, and then you were like kind of leading the comments, so we were letting you do that.
Yes. Dun dun dun.
you know, maybe now apparently
Hmm.
JC charges $50 for art.
And he does, everyone. This man right here, $50. He'll draw whatever you want.
A page?
Oh,
I don't know about
No,
a
no,
page.
a pinup.
Yeah, each image. Yeah.
a pinup.
Okay.
Oh, dear God, I wish it was a page, but I don't. I think that bankrupt him. So
That's actually underselling it too. But anyway,
Oh yeah, it would be.
what I was going to say is that only $50 a pop for an art piece. You know, we could all like kind of maybe chip in and get him to actually illustrate for us.
Yeah.
Raltz using a big titty midget girl as a vomit cannon.
What the hell?
That's not a bad idea.
I mean, what do you guys think of that? I mean, I haven't. Let's check the subscribe star.
Okay. Not on.
Oh wait,
Not-
yeah,
not on
not
the
all right,
show.
later. We'll see what we got in the subscribe star. Maybe
Yeah.
we could make this happen.
Wait, what did I
'Cause,
miss?
I look at this and I think this is the man to illustrate, you know, a 6-foot barbarian military man using a midget with giant tits to spray vomit.
Okay, I'm down. I will toss money at this.
What?
Wow.
So I could use it as the can use it as the
As your avatar, yes.
yeah when I'm in here. Yeah.
Fuck yes.
So should we just leave your image up to interpretation as just being a 6-foot plus tall, ripped?
Behemoth.
Well, you were Army or Marines? I forget.
Army. I was Army.
Yeah, 6-foot tall Army dude who's ripped, holding.
So
Like
is
one of
this
the
yellow
bros.
guy, but not yellow? I mean,
Okay,
Yeah.
well, wait. I do have a question. I've been meaning, and if you say no comment, I understand. The big titty midget girl.
Yeah.
Were they all natural, and was it for a career?
It was all natural. It was all natural, and she actually had a desk job.
Really? So
Yeah.
she just happened to be this attractive midget girl with tits as
Yeah.
big as her head.
Yeah, who I ended up hanging around with because she introduced me as her monster.
As her monster.
Okay.
It's just one of
I
those
love it.
things.
I love the fact that she had absolutely no fucks,
No,
to
no,
give.
she had
No,
no
you know,
fucking
the thing is, the stories you tell about your relationship with Midget Girl, I mean, they're insane, they're wild, they're funny, but in a weird way, they're very heartwarming and very sweet.
They are actually.
I like people. I mean, you know, relationships, you know, you should try your best in. You know, I mean, I'll admit there were times I took my wife for granted for like months at a time, but everybody does. You know, I've been married. Oh God, it's going to be over 30 years.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
congrats.
Is that her answering you?
Yeah. Yes. That's like, you know, we always laugh about that. You know, we always laugh. Somebody sent us a meme.
I think it's got to be 30 years now, right? You know?
Yeah. But somebody sent us a meme of you know, looking at your, you know, me looking at my wife, admiring her that she's still beautiful. Her, what dumbass want to fight? And sometimes it's like that. It's like, what dumbass? Oops.
Well, you know, I'll give you what life is like here.
She's back
sometimes.
there. I'll hear you.
I never in my life thought I'd say, "Wake up, cat! There's a lizard in the bed."
That's fucking
And
awesome.
have it not be a euphemism.
No, there really was a lizard in the bed.
There was,
There's a lizard in the bed.
there was a lizard in the bed.
I have no idea how it got in the house, but it crawled into the bed with us.
Maybe
And
that's the one I found. In
I
the
mean, I
garage.
guess we're glad it didn't go in other places, right? I mean,
yes. Well, I wake up in the middle of the night and I feel something warm stuck to me. And I'm like, okay. And I'm
If
half
you're
awake.
cold,
And
he's cold.
Yeah.
Let him in.
so I just kind of wiped it off and I see this lizard crawling over a cat.
Oh shit!
It-
I lived in this
Just
place when I was in Lake City,
Oh,
which I affectionately refer to as Lake Shitty for a while, because I lived in this. It was basically like a garage, you know, one of those like small $9,000
converted.
things they buy from like Home Depot or something,
Yeah.
and they turned it into an apartment. And I was like, whatever, I'm only going to be here for a short amount of time. I remember one night waking up at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and this spider the size of my hand was crawling over my stomach.
Woo!
Ugh.
And I looked at it, and it looked back at me, and I swear to God, it was like, "What? What do you want?" You
And,
know,
like, and now the whole place
Texas.
burns to the ground.
Oh
and
my
like you know,
God.
and it like clicked its mandibles, and I was like, I could move, and it could bite me, or I could just go back to bed.
Yeah,
You
you
were
know,
a
I'd
braver
go back
man
to
than me.
sleep.
I did. That's what I did. I just went
Like,
back to
fuck
bed,
it.
and I'm like, if it bites me, we'll have a fight. You know.
Oh,
Texas
God.
tarantulas were like that. You gotta climb up on the front porch and you'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And be like, "What? You want to fight?"
Yeah, it was one of those like tremendously big spiders that's not actually poisonous. They call them in Florida banana spider. It's not a real banana spider.
Oh,
but
banana spiders.
you know what I'm talking about, because they call
Yeah, I
them
know
because
exactly
they're
what you're
yellow and
talking
black,
about.
and they are huge.
Yeah, they're the ones
huge.
that everyone in California thinks is a brown recluse, but it's not.
Okay, so
No.
I'm gonna take a few steps back. So, Raltz, what exactly was the story of the vomit cannon now? How did this happen?
Oh God.
I love this.
There's been repeated ones. It's remembering which one I told because there was
Well,
one-
wait, this has happened
You
more than
were-
once then.
Oh yeah.
You were at a
It
bar. I
happened at the
remember the
lake.
one you said you were at a bar and somebody
I
was
mean,
like
if you wanted
a
her
dick
to have
her.
that much, just give her Ipecac. I mean, you know.
Oh God, she would get absolutely ripped and then want to go jogging.
Oh
And
my
her
God.
idea of jogging was to put her feet on my belt and ride on my back and yell at me to go faster. And well, I was a marathon runner. I was actually I ran marathons all the damn time to the point where the Army would send me to them. So I was a distance runner, and running with a rucksack was no big deal. And she didn't weigh that much. I mean, with all my gear, I would have to run it with like 100 pounds on my back. So, you know, she's like 10 pounds, you know. But let's see. There was when she drank way too much at the bar, and I was carrying her out to the car, and she started vomiting. There was the time at the lake where she'd never seen anybody shotgun a beer before, which is like, you live in Texas. How have you never seen me shotgun a beer? Well, I live in Austin. It's like, okay, you puncture the bottom, put your mouth on the bottom, and I open the top after we shake it up, and it just shoots down your throat. And I'm like, you might not
Just
want
to
do
say,
this.
that's not excuse. I have been to Austin.
And yeah, I've been to Austin too. And I was like, ah. And then let's
That's
see.
literally where UT is. So
There was the balcony of the hotel room where I ended up holding the back of her dress so she could vomit over the fucking balcony. It's like, do you ever drink and not vomit? She's like, well, stop giving me wild turkey. No. That's what I drink. Leave my drinks alone. But yeah, and I mean, I would grab her because otherwise she'd be bent forward and she'd be staggering, trying to throw up, and I just pick her up and just let her throw up. And sometimes you put a bucket on her head.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's see. Oh God. Pull over by the side of the road once. She's like, I think I'm gonna be sick. And this wasn't alcohol. This was. She calls me from work and she's like, can you come all the way to work and get me and take me back to your place? I'm like, okay, you're not feeling good. Why don't we go to your place? And she's like, because I don't want to because my sister's there. It's like, okay, go pick her up. And we pull her by the side of the road and she's vomiting. And it's like, how much vomit does a midget hold? And apparently a lot. Midgets hold a lot of vomit. And yeah, she's, and then carry her back in the house and, shower her because she's like, I'm going to die. Yeah, because you drank too much again. But yeah, she was fun.
I'm surprised she had any stomach lining left.
Oh, God. I used to drink, at the time I was drinking wild turkey and I was
No,
mixing
not from
it.
the alcohol. That has nothing
from
to
the
do with
vomiting?
it. Just from the vomiting. That's pure acid. I had to deal with a guy for a while when I was doing my PsyD that he was a ruminator, and a ruminator is a person that they'll throw up and they eat it.
No, she was a projectile vomitist. There's a difference.
Oh, God, I'm going to be sick.
No, she projectile vomited like a normal human.
So she
Oh my
got
God, what is wrong
resistance
with
and
that
he
person?
recycled.
Yeah, we had to look at this. I
Oh.
remember we had a whole meeting for like a week. We're like, how do we get this guy to stop? And we finally came up with, let's get the hottest hot sauce we can find. They actually ordered it.
Wow.
Oh my God.
They ordered like some weird pepper in Mexico. And it was like,
why?
It came with a waiver. His parents had to sign a waiver. So then they made a spray out of it and sprayed it on it, and he didn't have it anymore. And then that finally stopped that, which then once that stopped the auto, that habit, we had to work on the actual psychology and what was going on.
But
Dude,
why?
I keep gagging.
I mean, I've done some dumbass stuff, but holy
Normally,
shit.
when you're eating something like that, it's because it's like you're
That's
eating
some
your
severe
guilt.
mental illness.
It's usually like you're eating your guilt. You're trying to, they have this weird thing where they have to keep everything of themselves in themselves, so they they don't even
Gotcha.
they hate taking, they don't like to pee, they don't like to potty, they don't like to do any of that.
Oh my God.
One of my
Okay.
close friends' sisters started
we're
developing that.
we're
but
ending this
it was
right here.
from the other end.
We're stopping
It
now.
was a mistake bringing Buddy. We're all sorry.
Winter on Venus has a great question, but he may not want to answer. He wants, Ralt, how did you meet her? If you say no, I understand.
I met her at a bar. Surprise. Actually, it was more like a club. It was a fairly nice club in Austin. And
6th Street?
What? Yeah, 6th Street.
On 6th Street. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
down 6th Street.
I mean, there's a bunch of them, but yeah.
Have you been to the one with? Do they still have the? Does Emos still have the Fred, Velma, and Dino mural on the back wall, or did they get rid of it?
I mean, it was last time I was there. I have a friend actually named Dave Wolf. He's I based one of my characters on him in the whole epic, and he owns the sound studio there, like St. Elmo Sound Studio or something.
Oh
like
wow!
Yeah.
Rumor had it that Guns N' Roses used to play there, back when they weren't Guns N' Roses, before Slash joined, when it was just Axl Rose the Halfwit, but
There used to be a lot of they used to be pretty big. They were like kind of like the Viper Room for Texas, but then I don't know, like college bands came. Like, what is that? The Theory of a Dead Man was big out there, crap like that.
No, I already left. It was it was mid-90s when I left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I left when there was still the nightly shootout on 6th Street. When the hobos were entertaining hobos and not cannibal hobos. Ugh. But no, I met her at one of the places on 6th Street, a rather nice club. I don't remember the name of it. And I don't even know why they let me in.
Well, aren't you like over 6 foot and kind of
No,
imposing?
I'm 6. At the time, I weighed 210. And I was 6 foot. And I got a face like I got a happy face. I'm one of those people that look happy and nice and pleasant. At least that's what I like to think. And my friends would probably be like, "Oh, he's a nice guy. He always has blood around his mouth." But I went in the club and I was just basically, I was a little intimidated because everybody was dressed really nice and shit. And I felt really out of place because I'm wearing jeans, a combat boot, and a flannel shirt. And I'm thinking, why did they let me in here? And
I mean, they only let people in clubs for a couple of reasons. One, they think, like hot girls because they'll bring other people.
yeah,
Hot guys because they'll bring in hot girls.
yeah,
And, that's it.
yeah. I walked up to the bouncer. I was like, I want to go in and have a drink. And he looked me up and down. He's like, go ahead, man. I was like, thanks. I tipped him $20 and went in. I figured, because it's an upscale place and, I've got my paycheck in my pocket, so it's burning a hole in my pocket. And I met her. Basically, we were sitting there talking, and she kept talking to these other two midget girls. And one was a brunette, and the other had black hair. And one of them looked like somebody squished her face. She had the weird midget face where her face is too thin and too long, and her nose looks like a hook. She had that weird looking thing.
Yeah.
I think she was on TV for a while, but she was really creepy and had a screechy voice. I didn't like her. And she was going back and forth between the two tables, and she was always smiling and laughing at mine because I was telling jokes, being an idiot. And all of a sudden she grabs her purse and she walks out. I'm thinking, it's 12:30 on 6th Street. She's like 1.5 feet high and weighs maybe about as much as a bag of fucking potato chips. And there's that weird guy. There's some mugger running around in a pair of tidy whities. I might want to walk with her to the taxi.
Did you ever want to toss her to see how far it could go?
Actually, we did that at the lake. I picked her up at the end of the dock and just hucked her into the water as hard as I could.
I do it. I'd have probably gone with the slip and slide technique.
Oh,
Let's see how far this goes.
She thought it was funnier than hell because we were doing it to all the girls. And all the girls were coming up and they're like, okay, we're throwing him into the lake. There's like 2 of us and we're hucking him into the lake. And she comes up and my buddy looks at her and looks at me and goes, I ain't tossing no midget. I'm like, what? He's like, no, man, there's just something wrong with that. I'm like, oh, come here, sweetie. I'll throw you out in the water. But yeah, so when we also discovered that midgets really shouldn't water ski, much like anybody under 4 feet should not water ski, because if you lose your balance, holy fuck, that's like pavement watching her bounce. But
oh, did you guys see that girl at she's a porn star or something, and she did they were at Twitch Con or something in San Diego.
She jumped in and broke her back.
She did she jumped real high and did like a cheerleader, where they touch her. I don't know what it's called, where they touch her legs
and broke her fucking back.
And they cheaped out on the construction. It's supposed to be 7 to 8 foot tall. It was 2 foot tall, and they packed it, so that was basically solid. There was nowhere for the kinetic energy to go.
Yep.
So when she hit it, it went straight up her back. I can tell you exactly what happened.
Ooh.
I mean, that went straight up her back, through her vertebra, tore the intervertebrate cartilage.
Oh.
Anything at a bad angle would have torn open, and it would have overstrained everything on the way to cracking what was weak.
Oh, man. So I went to LA and missed TwitchCon, you're saying? Since I live in San Diego still?
Yeah. My boy has I don't want to say his real name because he might not want me to, but Pixel Trader on Twitter lives in San Diego, and he was telling me about it. And he's been in San Diego for a long time. He works for Disney.
Ooh, I know who Pixel Trader is. I don't know his real name, but when I was on Twitter, he was one of the people I followed.
He is Pix is a great guy. He's one of the best kind of people. He will help anybody. He's got a service called IndieCron.com where he lists all comic books.
That's right. He did IndieCron. Was he doing that with oh shit, what's his name? The dude from Hawaii that kind of went batshit during the Comicsgate stuff.
Oh, Edwin.
Edwin Boyette.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He really should have just. I feel bad. He's a nice guy, and he kept trying to be a good sport about that. He did not realize you could not reason with these people, and that the more he tried to smooth things out and mend fences and make everybody friends, the more they just tore him up, and it really affected him. I mean, that was fucked.
He didn't help himself.
He kept trying to say that the memes that War Campaign were doing were harmless, and then it was like one day he realized, oh, whoops, And then, like, that's when I saw him fucking crack, because, like, he hated EVS and everybody else. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
Really,
that's when we got to him. We started a side venture, which was an e-zine for a while called Insider. And
Hmm.
when he was into Insider, I said, we're not allowing this. We gotta, reach out to him and tell him, because I don't want them. They were trying to get their claws into Insider already, and I'm
I
like, no,
had
I'm not
no
gonna let it
idea
happen.
any of this was going on.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
I was dealing with all kinds of crap when that was going on,
I just liked
and
writing for you.
I loved your writing. I loved your writing. I loved, Cat's Night Rider stuff. I loved everything, and I kept it up as long as I could. But then basically they came in, created a competitive magazine. First they said Indicron was useless, then they said Insider was useless, then they made a competitive magazine to compete with Insider, which was crap. It wasn't like, I was reaching out to like some of the smaller but considered private companies like Mad Cave, Xenoscope. They wanted to do original stories for us.
Shit,
And
really?
yeah, they wanted to do original stories for us. I talked to them. I was talking to their CEOs and stuff, and they're like, "Yeah, man, we'll get somebody to do that. What would you want?" And I'm like, "I don't want anything big, like a 10 to 15 page preview thing that would go into something else for you." And they're like, "Yeah, we could do that. That sounds awesome." Da 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 da. We had 3 of them. I had Mad Cave, I had Xenoscope, and I had another one from Image that was coming out. And they were all happy. They were going to go in, and then everybody pieced out on me in like a week.
Because of War Campaign.
We think, I can't make that like cause. I can't make that causation. The supposition is
Or
that
say
yes,
allegedly War
yeah,
Campaign, so we don't get
allegedly,
anybody in trouble.
yeah,
I
yeah,
just know one day it was gone.
yeah. It was that, and then I made the mistake because I couldn't control it anymore. I couldn't. I had to have some material coming in, but I didn't have the time to edit it. I was working like 60, 70 hours a week. And so my cousin, he was going to college, and he's like, "Hey, I'll look at it for you." And he screwed up and let some people on that shouldn't have been on, and they wrote some articles that were like really bad. And I'm like, okay, I can't control it. I can't leave this on. So I told Pixel, I was like, cut it, just burn it, and we'll move on.
See, I never got
Um,
into any of that. I mean, I got lucky, I guess. I didn't get into any of the comic industry scene. I have
Nah,
friends
when
that did, but
it could have been fantastic, and I still think, like, it's got a shot. There are some, I mean, I do think, especially with the recession coming up, people are not going to, like, right now, people are a little bit less discerning of entertainment that they're going after. I really think as the money goes down and there's less disposable income, it's going to be like every depression, every recession. The best is going to stand out, because people are going to spread it themselves.
Have you thought about bringing it back now that all the drama has died down, and maybe just sticking to trying it again? I mean, because it sounds like it was fantastic. The
Uh,
Insider stuff.
I mean, I still have it. Like, I still own it, and Pixel still got the hosting for it. I was gonna pick it up a few months ago, like about 3 or 4 months ago. I was starting to get into basic programming, and I'm like, let me play around with it. Let's pick it up. But then I started working 60, 70 hours, and I just had no time. Um, but I mean, it's there. It's the whole thing is still there. We changed the name at one time to OK. OK, I can't remember what that stood for. On culture, and I was like, okay, that was fine. Because OK.com, we thought that'd be pretty easy, or onculture.com. But we still have Inside. I think Pixel has like Insider.net or something. So I mean, we could easily pick it back up. But I would need writers. I couldn't. I don't mind being a producer, but I need writers. I need like it got to the point where I was actually like every article I wrote got about a good amount, about 700 new people would come to the site that day whenever I would write, and then it would just die. And then when we would have to, and I was like trying to get articles from everybody. We had some pretty good stuff. Like every time, like when Finney wrote, it was really good. People loved what he wrote. 'Cause he wrote about the was it the manga, right? Like a
yeah,
couple.
I did one on manga. I did one on steampunk.
Yeah, and they were
Um,
fantastic. And he's really
uh,
good at creating the mosaic in that sort of deal that you have to create. In the was it WordPress? You
yeah,
create the mosaic almost of like the way that the words and the photos kind of work together. And he was really good at that, and it always not only was it a joy to read, but it was beautiful. So
thank
Look,
that's
you.
if
count.
you do it and you need writers, I'm not the best writer, but I own my own business, so I got my own schedule. I would gladly read and review stuff for you. I am always down to do stuff like that. For real.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, maybe we should look into it. I mean, like I said, it's there. The resource is there. It wouldn't be. I could ask Pixel to bring that back up. He would have it up in like 3 or 4 days, but we would have to pay him for the hosting because he doesn't. I mean, he's got 2 kids and everything else. It's not much
strategy before you kicked it off. You need to.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously. I was just saying we need more stuff like this back. Like, we don't
Which
have
is why
enough
all
of
of
this
you
stuff.
people need to start telling your friends about the frickin' WordCraft podcast.
Hey, I tell my friends all the time, but they're all fucking asleep because they get up early for work. I have one friend who's a chef. He's got to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. So to go start up in the kitchen. I can't fucking imagine doing that. But yeah, like people.
I had a friend that wanted to do like a Lady Chatterley type thing on it when she heard about it. She was like, I want to come on and talk about she was an Australian dancer that became a principal over in California. And then when California went crazy, she quit because her husband's already rich anyway. So she didn't care. She's like, so I've been all over the place and we've always had an open marriage and I have a lot of stories I can tell. And I'm like, I don't know if people want to know that.
Dude, look, my friends and I used to get drunk and read the Penthouse letter. So that shit would definitely, people would read that.
Oh God, the happy hooker made a fortune.
Oh my
off
God,
of her
the
fucking
happy
article.
hooker is so gross. When she fucked the German Shepherd.
She used to tell the most horrible stories, and she had a regular column with Penthouse.
I know, but she fucked the German Shepherd because she was bored.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is a different kind of boredom. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's boredom on a whole new level.
Like when I'm bored, I'll throw a weight over my back and go walking for 3 miles. I'll write something. I'm gonna write a poem. I wrote a poem. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck the German Shepherd. What?
Yeah.
I just imagine the German Shepherd. It's like,
It's like, do you wonder, did she like rub some Alpo on her vag or something to get that dog up in there? I mean, I don't know.
Oh my God.
I'm not sure I want to know, but
oh God, unfortunately.
I'm sorry that I just take this stream into a terrible turn. Forgive me, I'm like 3 beers in.
Yeah, this is what happens when I get on, guys. Hi, how you doing?
well, I could start sending you reviews. I mean, for boredom's sake, sometimes I go in and write reviews on
Goodreads.
On Goodreads of either famous books or books that just really deserve it. And
Goodreads is such a weird place because they have like a lot of peer-to-peer stuff where it's like, if you look at my book, I'll look at yours. Okay. And then they just end up being the same review twice for a different book.
Well, I can always review Warhammer 40K stuff because I'm reading the Horus Heresy right now. So that seems to be a popular thing right now.
I mean, if you guys are into it, just like reach out to me on Twitter, and I'll reach out to Pixel, and we can find out at first like how much he would want for the hosting, to spin it up again.
Here,
and go from there.
Oh
no.
Okay, we're having fun.
We're having fun. Okay.
We're having fun. No.
What?
I was gonna.
Ishi was gonna read one of his reviews.
Okay, I'm gonna read one of my reviews. This is for Albert Camus.
We're having fun. Fuck you, lady. I do what I want.
Fuck your fun.
No, actually, the review I was gonna read, I closed
because
it's a little too real. But
we can get into it later.
I've already read my review of Empress Teresa a few times, so this is a different one.
Oh God, Empress Teresa, Jesus!
Here's my review of The Stranger by Albert Camus. Okay, so there's this dude, and he's like depressed and bored, but mostly depressed. And I just don't mean depressed, but like smoking long, thin cigarette French guy depressed, which makes sense because this dude's French, and he does smoke long, thin cigarettes. Deciding that there must be more to life than depression, cigarettes, and being a miserable Frenchie, this dude...
So this was Steppenwolf, but French? I mean...
This dude gets a girlfriend. Does he enjoy dating? No. Is he gay? No, he's just really French and depressed. Then he goes to a beach party and he stares at his girlfriend's breasts. Does he enjoy it? What do you think? He's too
No,
busy being
French.
miserable and French to care. Miserably French to care. And then he gets so bored that he just gets he gets himself this cheap gun and considers blowing his depressed brains out. But he's French, so he chickens out. Missing the beach, French dude goes back to the beach, but there's an Arab dude standing on there in the harsh vibe. There's an Arab dude there, harshing his vibe. So, like, this French dude, he can turn and walk away, or he can stand and fire the gun, right? But he's staring at the sky and staring at the sun, which amounts to absolutely nothing, but the same. Which he chooses is absolutely the same, absolutely nothing. Blam blam, staring down the barrel of the Arab on the ground. The French dude opens his mouth, but he hears no sound. Is he a filthy racist? He doesn't care enough to really hate anyone.
Okay.
Finally, depressed French dude feels something. What does he feel? Who knows? He doesn't bother sharing it with the reader. He's too busy being French. Then he goes to jail and is executed. I'm alive. I'm dead. I can't believe I had to read this 3 times in school.
I didn't know you had to read it 3 times. I had to read it once, and I nearly flunked the class
What the
because
fuck
I got
was
into
it?
an argument with the teacher about
God.
how the French dude fucking isn't going to write a letter to his to his girlfriend about how, oh, go off and have a good life without me and all this other stuff. I love you. I'm like, no, dude, have you read the goddamn book? This guy isn't gonna write that to his goddamn girlfriend.
What book was this? Because
Albert
The
Camus'
Stranger?
The Stranger.
I never read it.
I've never even heard of it.
You know, suddenly I'm
Oh.
glad I dropped out in 10th grade.
It was an
Yes.
existentialist book meditating on existence and right and wrong, and it was postmodernist bullshit.
Well, basically,
Oh,
nothing
okay, right
happens,
there you
and then
lost
he
me.
shoots an Arab, and then nothing happens, and then he's executed, and that's when something happens.
And the weird part where it starts to rhyme is when I start quoting the lyrics from the Cure song about the book called Killing an Arab.
I am so glad.
Oh my
that I
god,
dropped
that's
out
what
of
that
school.
song is about?
Yes.
Oh, fuck me. That's great. Okay, I need to go back and listen to that album now. Because I thought it was just some, like, I don't know, Robert Smith got pissed at an Arab or some shit. Really, I mean, it's like shooting an Arab. Like, what the fuck? Or killing an Arab.
Like,
No,
it's
really,
the
the whole
stranger.
book is just, the stranger. It's one of those, what's the meaning of existence? We are all just going to die in the end. There is no right. There is no wrong.
So it really is
Just
like
in
Steppenwolf,
the
but they just don't have the
end.
crazy, weird pocket universe at the end.
I'll prove it. I'm going to the beach. I shoot this Arab, it won't matter any good, bad. There is no evil. Yeah, and it's like, shut up.
You
And
know
then he
what?
doesn't
I'm not going to
finish
read that
it.
book. Instead, I'm going to go with your recommendation you gave me like 3 weeks ago, and I bought Anthem by Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand.
Cool.
Is that how you say her
Choice.
name? Yeah.
Ayn Rand, yeah.
Ayn Rand.
Yeah,
I never
so-
pronounced it
I've tried
right,
2
so-
of her books and I couldn't get through them.
Anthem's the only one you need to read.
Okay.
I read all of Atlas Shrugged. I am glad that I did. I
I-
will never get up
I
again.
just, I just can't get past, like, I don't know, when she starts screwing every one of the sacred godlike engineers, I'm like,
That's the problem with her writing.
Yeah,
what is
None-
this
none of
shit?
None of that's an Anthem.
yeah.
Okay, got another one. Here is my review of Catcher in the Rye by J.D.
shit.
Salinger.
Another book I
Pretentious-
never read.
Pretentious crap. Sit down with a nihilistic high school kid and ask them about their life. You'll get the same effect.
Okay.
But it's true. I mean, no wonder so many kids like that fucking book. They're just like, oh my god, I'm Holden Caulfield. It's like, you pretentious fuck. Shut up.
Yeah, I don't think I read. I might have read that one. I spent a lot of time pickling my brain. It was kind of like me and Homer with, okay, brain, I don't like you, you don't like me, but get me through this, and I'll go back to killing you with alcohol. And you guys talk about a lot of these books. I'm like, did I read Fountainhead? It sounds like something I read. No, I don't think so, because it's.
I was in a weird harem, I guess. I don't know. It was
You were in a harem.
Well, I
What the
was
Yeah,
hell
I
were
want to
you
hear
doing?
about
I
this.
was the gigolo of the harem. Okay, well, we were talking
Well, at
about the
least you're
AOL
getting
days,
paid.
right? Kind of. It's weird. It's a weird. Okay, we'll go to it. I was at a Rocky Horror Picture Show.
No
Okay, there you
story.
go.
Well, that
We
already
went
No
to one of
explains.
those.
story
Now
that
I
you're
went
starts
to
telling
one
like
of
tales.
this
those,
has a good ending.
and my boy was like, "Hey, dude, let's get a drink, at the hotel across." I'm like, "Sure." So we went over there, and they were having one of those like meetings, where like people from AOL met. And there was this lady there that called herself Tigress, and she was, I don't know, she's attractive I mean, I was 19, she was like 35, and I was like, "Hey, da 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 da." She's like, "Are you old enough to get a drink?" And I'm like, "Well, the ID says I am." And she like looked at me and she was like, "Okay." And so the guy looked at me and he's like, you could tell he knew it was fake, but he didn't care, so he gave me a drink anyway.
He
And
didn't care. I don't even
Nice.
care anymore.
I was like, okay. So I got my whiskey and Coke and drank it, and then I was talking to her for a little bit, and she said, "Hey, what are you into?" We started talking about books and different kinds of things, and she just flat out asked me, she laid a copy of her hotel key, on the counter, and was like, "Hey, do you want to come up and see me later?" I was like, "Sure. What do I have to do?"
Sure, my brain is completely located right about my crotch, so why not?
Yeah. So I went into her room, and we did the romantic,
thing.
non-romantic things, and
The thing.
then we started talking. And I was going into PsyD. She was actually she was a psychiatrist that was also now studying to specialize with her MD in optometry or something. And so she was doing all this other but she was going to symposiums and all different kinds of stuff across the United States. And she's like, "Why don't you come with me?" And I'm like, "Holy crap, that sounds awesome." So I became the cat boy.
There's
You bet a
worse
sugar
things to
mama?
do.
You're a rent boy.
she would come to my classes, usually my calculus class, when I was in Louisville, and she would drop off like tickets and clothes and books, and she'd say, "I want you to read this book, before I see you. I'll come be at the airport at blah blah blah, and we're going to Michigan this week." Okay.
If you embarrass me, I'll cut your throat and leave you in a dumpster somewhere in Wahiga.
I never considered any of that, and then it got to where it was more than just her, and I was like, "Sure."
Sure, why not?
Dude,
Damn.
were you like an underwear model or something?
No, I was just. I
Good with
was.
your
He was
tongue? I mean,
he was
I
young
was
and
gonna say
horny.
you must be a fantastic in bed for all these
I think I
women.
was just. Well, I think it was just I was willing to learn, and so they would teach me and be vocal, and I would learn, and I learned how to. I learned how to be a woman whisperer, and I was like, "Sure,
Sorry,
I
I just
will."
think of horse whisperer now.
I was like, "I'll listen to the ways of your body. Let's go."
hung like a horse whisperer.
But it all broke. It actually all broke up because of Atlas Shrugged. She came to my class, and I was actually I was talking to this girl. She was a cheerleader at school, and it was right before I actually met Nikki, or a few months before. But I was talking to this cheerleader, and we were talking, and she came in. Tigers came in. She was really pissed. She's like, "Why aren't you paying attention to me?" And I'm like, "Because I'm talking to somebody." And she threw down the
Oops.
clothes and everything she had purchased, and she's like, "Basically, you're mine." And
Ooh.
whenever I'm
Oh.
here, da 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 da. And I
Well,
said,
she called
Is that
herself
right,
Tigress, right?
"Yeah."
That should have been the hint.
So I was like, "No, I'm my own, and you can fuck off." So
And that was that.
And
yeah,
that
that
was
was pretty much it. She was like, "Rah, rah, rah." She took it was an Atlas Shrugged book. She took it and was like, she tried to tear it, but she couldn't because it was too thick.
Well, because it's freaking like 700 pages.
So she threw it across the room, and it like just the weight of itself like crumpled it all. It's like a shredding spiral. And I was like, "Okay, bye."
Bye.
I have
Wow.
learned. I was like, I have learned what I can from you, master. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
The
Goodbye.
closest I got to Atlas Shrugged was Bioshock. I haven't read it.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's,
she's a brilliant writer. Some of the prose is so good, it almost transcends setup and payoff. It's so
Well-
good to read it, you don't even care what's at the end of it. But then you read the other crap.
I'm gonna also put this out there. She is Russian. And
Yes.
Russians, I have found, like to take the scenic route to get to the point. And so if there is a detour to wherever it is the story is going, they will take it. And yes, it will all pay off in the end, but you got to be patient.
Eloise, if you're listening, I don't have your email. I'm trying to email you something right now, and I don't have your email address. Anyway, keep going.
So
Steve wants me to read Anna Karenina. It's one of his favorite books. Before Steve was a business major, he was a literature major. And I mean, like, we literally have the pretentious bookshelves filled with classics.
I have read Anna Karenina.
He
and
says
I will
oh, go ahead.
It is a great book, but it's Russian. They take the scenic route to get to the point. What would take an American of that time period or an English writer from that time period 50 pages, add 200 to that.
It was like it's like they were getting paid by the word and they were afraid of starving to death.
Pretty much, yeah.
Steve said the same thing that you've said, Kat. He said the scenic route thing, but he says, I don't have a lot of patience for scenic route. That's why I can't handle a lot of Anne Rice stuff. Because like she'll spend 5 fucking chapters talking about a chair. And like where that chair has been in the family. Like I'm thinking of the Mayfair Witches like series.
I checked out of hers at Queen of Darkness or whatever the fuck it was. You know, the third one.
Queen of the
Damned.
Yeah. Queen of the Dorks.
Fucking Lestat kept crying I actually was skipping his chapters there because it was just, I'm not gonna. So fucking whiny.
He was the no. It was Louis who was the biggest sniveler.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought Louis was the one that was like always bursting into tears, like Samwise Gamgee.
In the first 2 books, yes. In Queen of the Damned, it's Lestat. He's crying every fucking chapter he's in. It's just,
but it's fucking Lestat.
Yes, I know. It was shocking.
See, I didn't get past the vampire Lestat just because the Mayfair Witches really kind of turned me off to Anne Rice. Because, like I said, she spends 5 fucking chapters talking about an antique chair. Who cares? Can we get to the killing and fucking, please?
What got me was in high school, and I was still figuring out whether or not I liked this whole sex thing. And so
you like Dion Flux.
Well, yeah, exactly. And so I'm reading Ramses the Damned, which is my favorite of all of her books. But I get to exactly, like, I counted the pages. I got to exactly the halfway point, and I said, wow, I'm really shocked. There hasn't been any sex. I turned the page at the exact halfway point, and there's a freaking sex scene. And it was the pornographic, like, because she used to write romance books. So, I mean, it was like there was all the details and everything was dewy. And it's just, oh my God, I spoke too soon.
Dewy corn.
Look, I read Exit to Eden. And then the fucking movie came out with Rosie O'Donnell, Dan Aykroyd.
Wow.
What?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So she wrote Exit to Eden because she thought she knew everything about the BDSM culture. Yeah. And there's a lot of weirdo fucking, but not like BDSM weirdo fucking, because she actually got invited by the BDSM culture after she wrote that book because they were so happy she put a spotlight on it. Apparently she went to their sex clubs and left after like 15 minutes because she said it was the most disgusting, perverse thing she'd ever seen. I'm like, dude, you have demons fucking witches. Are you kidding me? And not only are these demons fucking witches, but they cause immediate miscarriages that kill them. And you're disgusted by people getting tied up? Like, no. But they made him, the book, they tried to make it into a movie after Interview with the Vampire did really well. But they didn't think people would want to watch just the straight drama. So they decided to turn it into a comedy. And they cast Dan Aykroyd and Rosie O'Donnell as undercover FBI agents. And Rosie O'Donnell dresses in a fucking corset and leathers.
No.
Oh God, I remember that.
And
Oh
it was
God, I
fucking
blocked that out.
awful.
I
Yeah,
blocked
she
that
actually
out.
talked about how they made her come back to film a few more scenes, and she'd gained 15 more pounds, and they had to like Vaseline her ass into her corset.
Oh God, I
And
remember that.
she has a fight with the model Iman, David Bowie's wife or widow.
Yeah.
And you know, Amon's fucking hot, dude. If anybody's seen her, like, you know, she's gorgeous. And she looks great in this like red leather corset and everything. And she has this dumbass fight with Rosie O'Donnell where it looks like she's thrusting up into Rosie O'Donnell trying to get her literally off her body. And it's just so gross.
Ew.
Yeah, so they
I
like the
blocked
book
that
was
out.
already perverse as fuck, and like I read it for shits and giggles, and instead I would read out the really descriptive sex scenes to my friends who are laughing their asses off. And then like the movie came out and it was like, oh God, like that book was already like in a league of its own, no pun intended, because I know Rosie O'Donnell was in that movie. But holy shit, way to ruin an Anne Rice book, for real.
Wow.
Well,
So yeah.
I think it's time for dinner.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
there is
haven't
dinner.
eaten dinner yet. I think you did.
Oh, neither
Yeah,
have
did.
I.
Yeah, we
I
got
just-
we got further enough from the V conversation. You know, we can just.
Yeah.
Well, you know, hey, had a great evening. Good hanging out with
Yeah.
you all.
Yeah.
As
Yay,
always.
I love Monday. It's my Friday.
Yep. Yeah. It's actually. Oh, I gotta talk to you before you jump off here. I gotta talk to you after the show. By the way,
Which one of us?
is she?
Oh, me. Okay.
Yeah. You.
Okay.
Hey, you alien.
All right. Well, good night, everyone.
Yep.
Good night,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone. This was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, absolutely. I love it.
All right. Bye.
Good night.
Bye, guys.
Night.
Wait.
What?
Well, no. We'll still be on, but we're gonna end the show.
All right.